Good afternoon, Stephen. Standing by here with the oldest black member of the Democratic Alliance, the first black member of the Democratic Alliance, Mr. Joe Seramane, who also was watching the speeches by the leadership candidates. Mr. Seramane, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk about the leaders, potential leaders in a moment, but first just give me your view on the state of the Democratic Alliance in 2023.
I'm very happy to see that things have grown so much. There is so much unity and there is so much forward-looking, and irrespective of who it says, but really prepared, a sign of what South Africa can be. The working together without fascism, without racism, without tribalism. We can be a people.
What was the DA like when you joined it?
Well, it was almost like that, but those were the beginning stages. Now I can see that fruit actually blossoming, slowly but for sure.
One of the big questions in the Democratic Alliance has always been its commitment towards promoting black leadership. We see a black leader here, a woman leader, contesting John Steenhuisen for the position of leadership there, and yet she's been questioned in whether her candidature actually stands any chance of succeeding against what is perceived to be a dominant candidature of John Steenhuisen. Do you think that the DA is doing enough to promote black leaders? How do you think they're treating black leaders?
Everything goes in stages. If it's the first time, you are seeing the first time an attempt at doing what we say a non-racial society. So the best will be the winner. I'm impressed by both of them. When I listen to them, I say, aha, that's very good. And whichever way, I hope there won't be any ill feeling. Fair play, fair competition. That's what the world is about.
Well, there were also strong messages from Malatsi about the time in the party not necessarily being a precursor to good leadership, but qualifications mattering more. What do you think?
Well, we need to be qualified for what we can. But if we don't, doesn't mean now fold your arms and be defeatist and say we accept it. Step by step, we shall reach what we want to be. There must be competence, there must be good governance, and all the good things that we wish South Africa to be.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Mr. Joe Seramane. I see we also have here Mr. Solly Malatsi. He's coming in to join us just for a quick interview. Solly, thank you for rushing over to speak to us. Look, you're contesting for the position of Deputy Chairperson yourself, but before we get into that, we just saw two very different speeches by the leader candidates. What did you think?
No, I think both were brilliant speeches I'm one of the people who's fascinated by public speaking, so other than the substance of the speeches, from the delivery and how they resonated with their contestant. And I think one of the proudest moments of those is that even though different people have already made their minds on who to vote, both candidates were given a warm reception. And I think it's an indication of the maturity of contestation internally.
Certainly different views there. One view that the DA is only 12% behind the ANC. Yeah. And then, if we heard correctly, Malatsi is saying there that there's a projected vote share of 16% in the 2024 election. Those are two completely different views about how the DA will do in the next election. What's your view?
Well, my view is informed by the polling that the party also does, but also in comparison to polling that has been done by independent research. The most latest polling that was done independently indicated that we are just 12% behind the ANC. But I think what is the most important thing for us is beyond this Congress, how do we position the DA to be the largest opposition party that can lead that coalition of opposition parties as an alternative government to the ANC, so that we can bring the ANC under 50%.
It sounds like the messaging from John's campaign. Is that who you support?
I'm definitely supporting John, yeah.
Dr. Malatsi, they're taking some swipes at John Steenhuisen. I believe she did say that what we need is someone with qualifications. Saying that you don't necessarily need to be in the party for a long time, but need to be suitably qualified. Comparing what happened under the leadership of Jacob Zuma in South Africa and the leadership of Barack Obama in the US, what do you think about that?
Look, I think the reality is that leadership in politics is open to everyone. There are people who have merged without qualifications that have been great leaders, but the most important thing is, are you able to inspire the people inside the political party and lead them towards growing the party? I think qualifications are always an advantage, but in politics we know qualifications are not a requirement for leadership.
So let's get to your campaign for Deputy Chairperson. You're running for, obviously there are 3 deputy chairpersons positions, but you're coming in as someone who's got a lot of experience. You were also the former spokesperson for the Democratic Alliance. What's at the heart of your messaging when it comes to the campaign?
So absolutely, what I'm running on is, in order for the DA to grow, we need to, one, consolidate our base, but most importantly, we need to enter into new voter market shares. There are over millions of potential first-time voters who have not voted. Those are the people that we need to be talking to and winning them over in order to increase our prospects of growing our vote share. So internally, I've been engaging delegates and saying that we need to make the positions of federal deputy chairpersons much more politically worthy for the people that occupy them, so that they are not just ceremonial, but that they add value. Currently, our constitution identifies 4 responsibilities. One is building relations with civil society, and I think it's something that I can play an instrumental role in doing that. Secondly, it's about international relations, but that, I think, it's a role that the leader can be able to fulfill, particularly because we've got partner networks through the international liberal network that we do. But I think we need much more to close the gap between the federal leadership and the provincial structures and all the other caucuses that exist throughout the country, so that there is synergy in terms of communication, and that we empower these caucuses, because now the DA is not just present at national and provincial level. People in municipalities, people in Polokwane or in Giyani, where my constituency, get questions about what's happening in Tshwane, and we need that flow of information to reach our public reps and our activists as quick as possible, so that when they engage with voters, they are empowered with the right information.
You're talking about the nuts and bolts of running the organization, but you importantly mentioned reaching out into new constituencies. What's your view on the need to focus on growing the DA in black communities?
Look, I think it is realistic to acknowledge the fact that, the majority of the population is black, and that you need to have a entry into that voter market. But it is by driving the issues that affect the rest of South Africa, because there's still a large population that does not vote across different races. So that is why there's been a concerted effort on focusing on the issues that matter. This is what has informed our cost of living campaign, for instance. It is what has informed our campaign on cutting the cost of fuel prices, because it has a trickle-down effect on all of us.
Lastly, who are you supporting for the position of federal chairperson?
Federal chairperson is quite clear, because Ivan Meyer has been a solid chairperson, and I think the 2 individuals that are contesting him are political novices that need to grow into themselves, and they'll have another opportunity going forward.
Thank you so much. That's Solly Malatsi, contesting for the position of Deputy Federal Chair. He hopes to work underneath Dr. Ivan Meyer, also giving some commentary on the debates by the leaders. There will be other debates coming up, or other speeches by people who are contesting for leadership, but we'll have to unpack what happened on stage just a few moments ago in those speeches by Mpho and John Steenhuisen. That's it from the conference floor. At the moment, they're busy with constitutional amendments. You'll see more green cards, red cards going up in the air as the delegates vote on how the DA's constitution should be structured, how it should run the party. But from here on out, the election for the leader and its policy and coalitions, and whether or not it should have that focus on growing in black communities, and the state of the DA's black caucus will be some of our focuses here at Newzroom Afrika. It's back to you for now in the studio.